Three, two, one. Hey guys, how's it going? It's the real Randy Chavez coming at you today with Chantalle of Meta Brew Society. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi.
Hey.
This is my everyone loves Dashi, I think more than me.
Mhm.
Uh, I saw there was a couple of people when I was advertising this morning that had liked and commented. I have my friend VV Dermeister and my friend WC3NTE that are already a part of this fam. Uh,
Mhm.
how long have you guys been public and advertising and been around?
Yeah, I would say since about last May, so May 2022 something. So not around 1 year, but kind of like let's say 9 or 10 months. We're out
Close.
now, public. Yeah.
And so this is a project that I don't think has been done before. Can you name any other
Mhm.
project that associates an NFT with beer, or at least free beer?
Yeah. I would say just like in smaller sizes, as we already bought like a real brewery pre-mint and shipping worldwide to like more than 40 countries. I think there's nothing like an NFT space in that size and that international. Yeah.
So tell us about the beer before we get into
Yeah.
the NFTs
Sure.
specific. What is the type of beer? What is it like?
Yeah, we're from Germany and it's Bavarian beer. So we, at the one side, have a brewery in Bavaria, but also like a Bavarian brewer in the team. So he's brewing for more than 20 years. One another founder of us is a hobby brewer, so doing that for smaller size. So we have a typical German beer, which is like called a helles Vollbier, and a Märzen, which is like a fest beer, something like you're drinking at Oktoberfest. But what will be our focus like in the next month is like an Bavarian Pale Ale, pretty similar to an IPA, just like in Bavarian and our own kind of style of it. And also like a session Bavarian Pale Ale, which means like just lower alcohol. That's what we're
Okay.
planning right now, or we're already producing it. It will be done in about April, something like beginning of April. And that is like the main part of our beers, like getting the typical Bavarian German taste, just like in a bit more modern way, but also having an innovation line, which is, for example, non-alcoholic, but with additional caffeine, which will be like a gamer's brew, or a brew, which is like a sleeping brew, like non-alcoholic, but with additional melatonin. So we try like two different roads. One is like the classic Bavarian line, and the other one is like an innovation line based on our Bavarian Pale Ale.
Okay. So is there a lot of demand for the non-alcoholic brews?
Yeah. Right
Okay.
now, like the non-alcoholic and also like the session, which is like 2.5%
Yeah.
is like one of the most growing parts in the beer industry or in the alcohol industry, because people love the taste, but not everyone always wants the full amount of alcohol. So that's
Oh,
why we also tried that one out, and like also with gluten-free beer and the innovation line with additional stuff which is good for the body. This is like a niche we want to try out, because there may like really not so many companies in it right now. So that can be a big push for our company, but also having the traditional line will always be there.
so you have okay, that makes sense. What is the beer that's your first product? How much percent
Yeah.
alcohol is that?
It has like 4.9. That is like unser helles Vollbier, which is like really a typical Bavarian brew,
Okay.
let's say. Everyone doesn't matter. The good thing about German beer is the Germans like it, but international wise, usually people enjoy a German brew and a German beer. So we chose that one for the first one because it's easy drinking.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where in the world you ship it, the people enjoyed it a lot. That's why we already have holders like in more than 40 countries, because you can drink it in every kind of city or area in the world. People usually like it. So the helles Vollbier was our first one.
So do you guys sell in shops locally though, for people that maybe don't have the NFT?
Not yet, but that's the plan. So one of our, like, let's say our business model is if you're a holder, you get free beer. And to cover this kind of costs for a company, like our holders will help us to spread the word. And we have an affiliate program, which means if you're a holder and you get to your local shop or to your local bar or hotel or wherever and tell them like, you should list Meta Brew because it's a great beer. And if they do, you will get a 20% revenue share. So that is like the next step. We are planning now in spring to have the bigger amount of beer we can shipping around the world, and getting into the shops, getting into the bars, into the hotels. So that's, let's say, not the typical Web3, just Web3 company. It's more like a Web 2.5. We are having the NFT community, but also really just build up an international beer brand.
Okay, so you have to have pretty good margins because it's 20% not of the revenue, it's of the profits that you would get from. Okay.
Yeah.
But you also have a referral program in which if you refer somebody to get the NFT,
Yeah.
they get 20% of just the sale of the NFT?
They get 10%. So if
Okay.
you're right now spreading the word and someone is getting the NFT, for example, with your referral code, you get 10%. Just with a normal selling, they get 20%. So if you're going to a bar or something,
Okay.
because the bar and the shops, they don't need the NFT to get beer.
Yeah. How do you qualify for a shop? Like, obviously you're gonna have to have like an LLC or any type of business, but like I have two LLCs. Could I like potentially get that and not have to buy the NFT for my house?
Yeah, exactly. Just
Oh, really?
totally normal. Like if we would not be like the NFT, we started with the NFT, but at the end we're just like a normal international beer company. So that's super easy. Yeah.
Okay. And out of all of the countries that you're in, all of them happen to they have the NFT first, though, right? You wanted the exclusivity?
Yeah, exactly. That was like the first thing was we want to build like a NFT project, which is about in real life utility, what people can enjoy, bringing like a community together. And that was like the main part of it. And so we started with that and directly international. Exactly. And everything from now on will be focused. The NFT community will always like can enjoy the free beer and the affiliate program, and also like fest. We had a 3-day beer fest at our brewery in Bavaria, and we will have one at the end of April in Vegas for 2 days. So the NFT community is always like, it's our family. Like it's more than just a community, because it's really family. They help us grow the business. They have like key business decisions. Like we asked which innovation brew you want to have first. Do you want to have first like gluten-free one, or the gamers brew, or the sleep brew? And they chose for the gamers brew. So that one was the first one we are brewing, for example.
I'm going to Vegas in a couple days. I won't be
Awesome.
there in April though, but yeah, I love Vegas.
Awesome.
In Germany, so whenever I go, I usually stay in like Kaiserslautern, where near Ramstein Air Base.
Yeah.
How far away are you guys away from that?
Oh, Kaiserslautern is from my place not so far. It's just like 1.5 hours, I think, from our brewery, like 3 something, maybe
Okay.
4
Oh,
something,
okay.
because
So
the brewery is not directly at the Autobahn. It's like a bit more Bavarian countryside-ish, the brewery itself. But we as a founding team were close to the brewery. Close to brewery. I'm close to Heidelberg, soon in Munich. So we are a bit split off in Germany, like in southern Germany.
Okay. So you have three brews, the one that's like almost 5%, the one that's 2.5%, and the one that's non-alcoholic. And you said you have one that's gluten-free. Is there any want, or do you see any like pressure to say like, hey, can we have something at like 8% or 10%, or is there not enough demand for that?
Let's say right now we are focusing on the ones you said already. But if the market, or for example, the holders wants it, we will always give it out and like go for voting and ask them. We already did that before, like who's really interested in a high percentage beer. And if there are not enough persons, we can, as we own our own brewery and we have a brewer in the team, we can always try that out and just send it out and see what the market says, what the community says, if the bars are interested in it, is if it's maybe a special drop for our community, for example, they can order it but not the bars yet or something. So we are totally open, and we always hope for feedback from the community, ask them, talk to them, getting to the dialogue. So totally open.
I love so because there's certain alcohols that I wish had a higher alcohol
Mm-hmm.
content, which like not your father's root beer. I don't know if you know of that
Mm-hmm.
one. It's really good, but it's also really sugary, so I can't really drink that much of it. I could have
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe three, and there's not that much alcohol.
Yeah.
Um, but that would be my. But I haven't tried yours yet. Clearly, there's a bunch of people in this community that obviously love it, so I'll I'll go and try it at some point. And then
Yeah.
how many NFTs did you guys start with? Originally, how many were able to be minted?
Yeah. Originally, we started like with a big amount. We said like, let's start with like 6,000 NFTs, and then the bear market hit it, and we were like, okay, we can leave the mint open, because for us, as we bought the brewery pre-mint, it sounds now a bit too hard, but it doesn't matter if we are selling 500 NFTs or 4,000. Of course, everything is easier with 4,000, but we are not under pressure to sell or to get sold out within one day. So right now we are about 1,050 NFTs, and we decided for cutting the supply for the moment to 1,516, which is like a special beer number. So it's a
Okay.
bit around that storytelling too. And we will start in some weeks, I think in about 2 weeks, like another, let's say, push to mint out for that amount of NFTs to grow the community. And then, as we're right now already focusing on delivering for the community, we already did in December, so they get the first bunch of free beer already in December. The second drop was now in 2 weeks ago, and they can claim it next week. So we focus on delivering, focus on building up that company, and the 1,516 NFTs for the moment are enough. So I would say everyone who wants to jump in, I would rather jump in right now than hoping for a bigger supply, because we're not sure if we will open the supply again or not. We will see in the future, or if we make a second drop with less utility or something.
And how much to mint? Or
It
one
is
of them?
about 1,000 US dollars, and we guarantee like 240 cans for at least 3 years. So per year,
Wow.
240 cans of beer.
Yeah. So
You for 1,000 US dollars, but as long as we exist. So if we can make it in the next 3 years to expand that company and make it profitable, you will get as long free beer as we exist. So that's the plan.
I mean, even if it's 3 years, that's 720
Yeah,
beers
yeah,
which is really nice for the whole.
yeah,
So you're really paying a little over $1 a beer,
yeah,
and
including shipping international wise.
yeah,
So you
and
don't have to pay the shipping. Yeah,
that's a lot. Like shipping, especially going to like what can that be, like 50
yeah,
bucks? Like
yeah,
that's a lot.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Uh,
So that was important for us, for example, to get like a really fair deal out there. So doesn't matter what with the floor price or whatever happens. I mean, we know it in NFT space, people will always get their in real life utility, their free beer to home. So it's at the end no risk. You can profit with a company, but at the end, if we won't make it, what I don't think so, and I don't hope so, we will definitely ship the beer for at least 3 years. That what we guarantee, also like in the disclaimer on our website.
uh, so if you're getting in, so you started last year, but you didn't
Yeah.
start shipping until December, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
we started in May. We minted at the end of September, beginning of
Yeah.
October. We started with a mint, and with the beginning of December was the first shipping.
Okay.
Exactly.
And how often do you guys ship?
It's like 4 times a year, so we do it
Okay.
quarterly.
Once a
So
quarter.
what was the plan before at the beginning, like when we talked about the company and how to do it? Said like, okay, one time shipping a year, 240 cans, but of course it doesn't make any sense, because if you ship the beer, you can already sell your NFT, because the next year will not get any beer. So we said like quarterly is cool, because even if you're thinking about selling it on a secondary, the next one will get beer latest 3 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why quarterly.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's where the referral code comes in. You get you get 10% of the person that signs up.
Yeah.
So they get about $100, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So did you use that as kind of like your seed funding, your seed raise? Being like, hey, we'll
Yeah.
use this.
Yeah,
So
as
this
we
way you
got
get
like more than 1,000 NFTs at the beginning, like within the first, I would say 2 weeks, something, 2.5 weeks, we raised like more than $1 million with it. But also, as we wanted to buy the brewery pre-mint to give the people security that they will actually get the beer 1,000%, we had like little private funding round within our founder circle and raised like 3 million pre-mint to cover the brewery and all expenses, so people know they will get the beer really and it's not a ruck or something. So we
okay. So
wanted to
you raised
give,
a lot of money.
yeah,
Yeah, and that was pre-mint. And then okay, so
exactly.
could we get a translation for Ich bin da, and I don't know how to pronounce
I'm the whole day in the bong room.
that. That's awesome.
But it is totally fitting to the picture, so yeah. Have fun.
That's so great. So you have not only the seed money from that 3 million, but then you also have the amount of
Yeah.
people that were going in and saying, hey, let me buy the NFT. You get that whole bunch of money. What are like the next steps? I know you have different brews that you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
If there's enough demand, would you get a second brewery, or like put it into marketing? What's the next step?
It's like, I would say our first brewery is like that big that we don't have to buy a second one, because it's really one of, let's say, I'm not 100% sure, I don't want to say something wrong, but about one of the 20 biggest, 30 biggest breweries in Germany. So it's really a big one. We can do a lot of stuff in there. So there's not, we don't need another one to send out a lot of beer into the world. The next thing is definitely marketing, for example, and reinvesting in new brews and spreading the word worldwide. That is like the next step, because we want to have, like, for the next shipping, we have 3 different kind of brews. It's like still the Helles Vollbier, the Märzen, which is like the fest beer, and the first Bavarian Pale Ale. And the more people buying or investing the money, we can do more brews. So people also, like the wholers, can choose which brew they want to get delivered, for example. So
Cool.
what is maybe also interesting about our project, that all of our founders, like we are 7 founders, and every one of us has their ongoing main business, which is covering like the whole cost. So we didn't take out a single euro or money for ourselves. It stays totally in the company and reinvesting it, and we're covering our private costs totally with our normal businesses. For example, I'm a brand designer. I have a little brand design studio doing for Web 2 and for Web 3, and that's covering my costs. So we're investing a lot of time from ourselves, of course, but the money we get within Meta Brew is staying in the company right now.
So you guys don't pay yourselves?
Yeah, no, we don't do.
Oh,
So yeah, we're really bullish on the project, and we want to make it grow. We don't want to get paid out or something at the moment, because we can cover our costs with our main businesses. For example, Holger, who's like in the CEO position of our company. He is also a business angel investor for like the last 30 years, grew a lot of companies, so very experienced, and he doesn't need to take out the money. Me neither. The other founders don't have to do that too. So that's why money stays in the company and reinvests in it for brews, for marketing, for all that kind of stuff.
So every one of the 7 founders kind of has like their own business, or they have money coming in from elsewhere where they're not current. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, that's good. And do you all own an equal 1/7 share, or is it someone as the CEO gets a little bit more, someone as CEO
Yeah,
gets less?
Holger has a bit more, but the rest is like equal. So
Okay.
that is like, but that's totally cool. It was from the beginning, because it makes so much sense how much time we spent in and all, and it's an awesome team. I'm really looking forward, because in next week, Monday, so in 6 days, we will meet each other again for a whole day of workshop, talking about the next steps and all of that, because, NFT space and also growing a startup, a company, we talk like at least 3 times a week with the whole team in a call, but also within the, like, for example, I talked to Holger today and to our smart contract developer, and you have to readjust and like a bit more to right, a bit more to the left. That works pretty good. I'm going to NFT Paris this week. Holger's in Berlin for another event, speaking there. So a lot of work on this side. So totally fine with how the founding team is working together. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. So is there a point where you guys, because I only kind of just glanced at the business when we were talking, and it seems like this has the potential to be tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, like a 9-figure business.
Yeah.
At what point do you guys sell? Do you guys have a point in that? Because you have other businesses and you already have money coming in, do you not want?
I think I can talk from the point of view from the other guys, about sleeping later. But no, we haven't talked about that. In that case, we know we want to grow it, and we are here for the long run and not like doing easy exit the next month or something. So it's really, I love the Web3 space. It's so much fun. You get to know so many people. You really learn so much about that space, about growing a business. Web3 is so much faster in growing a regular startup, and a regular startup is already a challenge, and Web3 is a double challenge. So long story short, no, we are not planning to sell. I don't know what's in some years, but I'm here to stay, and I know my founders are too. So we're here, we are building, we have a lot of fun. It's definitely a challenge. We're depending on the time, but I'm sleeping, but I'm not doing so much more than work. But it always sounds so stupid, but if work is fun, it doesn't feel really like work. So talking to you right now, of course it's somehow work, but it doesn't feel like work. I really enjoy the time.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's I love the process of building. And the two businesses that I had before I retired, it was the most stressful but also most fun time in my life. It was super exciting. So when you have a company like this, and let's say you do sell out of the NFTs, and let's say there's still demand, it becomes a meme, or Discord grows out of at haywire. What's the plan when you mint out? Do you have a plan for the next year or two?
Let's say if we mint out, it's great, because then we have like our core community together, and we want to grow the business with them, because we get so, like, the core community is so valuable for us, not only because they're great and all, but also they are all beer lovers. So we have like the main focus on people who are interested in beer, who like German beer, who are sitting like international. We have a lot of holders in Germany, but also the second biggest country is the US, for example. So getting all the feedback and implementing it within the company. And right now, I would always say there is, of course, an open space for maybe a second drop, but that's not our main focus right now. So focus first, minting out. On the side of minting out is like the normal Web2 stuff, like selling the beer. And if that is working out, we can think about, when does a second drop make sense, for example, or opening the mint again, because it has to be a win-win for everyone, like for the holders, for us as a company, maybe spreading the word, maybe there is a great idea. Or what we do a lot right now and want to focus on the future too, is besides doing our own second drop, like do collaborations with other Web3 projects or NFT projects or Web3 companies, because of course we can provide them in real life utilities for their holders, like with their own can design. So for example, we did some smaller stuff with the Moonbirds already, like with a Moonbird on the can, also for events, or going to, yeah, exactly. And that's the great thing about our company, that we are not working against other companies or something. We can really collaborate in a great way. So their community has a big benefit from it. The company or the project can provide them like in real life utility. it's spreading the word on our side. We can work together with conferences, with DAOs, with meetups, getting their can design. So that's like more the focus right now, I would say, within the Web3 space. So totally open for cool collaborations and open for what we can do. For example, we were at a conference in Germany where we brought like one time 100 kegs of 50 liters of beer and free drinks. And at our booth, like the people had so much fun and we're talking
I
and we
bet.
were like the main focus on the conference. And we can do that kind of cool stuff right now.
So that if that's not a look into your future, I don't know what is. I love drinking. I'm not drinking at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
This is from last night.
Yeah.
But if it was like my day off, I totally would. But if you said this US is the second most place
Yeah.
of demand, and obviously the most place for growth, so many people there, so much wealth, a lot of people in the Web3. At what point does it make sense to actually go and buy a second brewery in the US? Kind of like how Tesla has like, okay, we'll open up a Giga Shanghai or a
Make totally
Giga.
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
We start right now with working together with a company who is shipping like full containers to the US, and they're spread it. That makes even more sense than just like doing the single deliveries to the holders. That was like the first step. And that point I had to talk, I would have to talk to Holger at what point of amount we should open a brewery in the US, of course. But definitely an option, definitely on the plan if we're growing big time, because that makes sense. But what we plan also like the next step there, you see, you can do so much if you have like a Web 2.5 brewery, because you can do Web 2, Web 3 collaborations, your own drops, whatever. But we want to really open like our own tap rooms, because that is so cool. You can spread the word in big cities. You can provide benefits for the holders, for example, free beer or something if they come over. You can do meetups within the Web3 community, but also normal communities. So I would say before we are buying the next brewery in the US, maybe the tap room would be a better step to also make what is usually my part. Like I'm doing the brand design and all, like making the brand stronger. Because if you have like a real place to go, that is even a cooler thing, or make the people connect with the company even more.
Yeah, it's one thing to, and I have no issue with this. It's just like sitting down with a six pack and like playing Mario Kart or watching a movie, but it is a lot more fun to go out with other people and play some darts, play some board games. It's
exactly
really fun.
Yeah.
So what's for like the marketing, like what do you think could be the best? I mean, Moonbirds is pretty great. They have the high ETH floor price and the great community. But what do you think is the best marketing for you to like have somebody on like TikTok do like the Stone Cold open up, crush a can on his head? Or is it something a little more classy? Something like you have a superstar drinking your in like a suit.
Yeah. I would say, as we are pretty young and I would say cool company, like we're not like classic Bavarian old school. We are traditional, of course, with the way we brew, but really, really young kind of technique and all of that. We can do kind of everything, because everything could fit to the brand. A classic, like working together with celebrities as such, that would be great, but I would rather pump the money into marketing in TikTok or in Instagram and such, than giving a celebrity a high amount of money that they're drinking one time our beer. The best thing is if the celebrities, for example, enjoy our beer and just post it themselves. But if you say like within the Web3 world, for example, I think the easiest and biggest shifts, and that what I want to talk, or we already started talking about that, but planning with my co-founders is getting the can designs for different kind of big communities. And they provide it, for example, even as a utility, or if you, for example, get a token gated way on our website, if you're holding, for example, a Bored Ape, you can order the Bored Ape brew. If you're
Oh,
holding
cool.
a Moonbird, you could get the Moonbird brew and the Azuki and all of that. And I think that could be a big uplift in the space, because I love our can design, but it's so much cooler for me as a Moonbird holder if I get a beer with a Moonbird on it, for example.
Have you heard of Feesh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Have you talked to Brock? Have you talked to the CEO?
Not yet, but it's on my schedule. I really need to
So
talk to them. Yeah.
I love him. Link to Minta Feesh down below. Also, link to
Yeah.
Chantalle's Twitter down below. So he had been talking about trying to get a like brew a Feesh beer, and we've been like the
Hmm.
community's been like, let's go. I'm ready for it. We're all
Yeah.
a bunch of little alcoholics. So
Yeah.
I would enjoy that. That'd be fun. And then you know what VV is?
No, who? Like.
VV's a. Do I have the? No, I don't have the shirt on. VV's a NFT company, but it has like all these partnerships like Marvel, Disney, Universal,
Hmm.
and they have the first appearance of like Spider-Man and Superman on the blockchain. So
Awesome.
all like the
Okay.
really
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
I would I would love to bring Meta Brew Society beer to like an event like at DCon or at New York Comic Con where VV has like a booth.
Yeah, that
We
would
all
be
like to party.
awesome. Yeah, totally. And the cool thing is, depending on the kind of like conference or event, we can always go for the normal beer, the light, like the session, or the non-alcoholic if they are saying they're, for example, sometimes you have conferences and such where they say they are not selling alcohol, or they have like their beer delivery already. We can sell like no problem, we can do like the gamers brew non-alcoholic.
Yeah,
So we're totally open to every kind of event that way, because I think it's always a win-win for that. That's what I love about like Meta Brew. It's always a win-win for all sides, because people enjoy it. It brings people together. For the communities, for the conference hosters or such, it's a benefit. And for us, our company, as a company, it's spreading the word. So yeah,
yeah. Do
definitely
you
always open. Yeah.
do you have to be a holder to go and like actually sell it? Like, do you have to be an NFT holder to go and sell your beer to sell your beer to either distributor or a bar or anywhere?
At the moment, the plan is that just like the holders are getting the affiliate link or the affiliate
Okay.
program. So yeah, that's the plan right now.
Okay, that's good.
Exactly.
That's smart. So
Yeah.
on the end of the business that you run, I know you said you have a workshop coming in, I think on next Monday.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Next Monday. Yeah.
what is your specific specialty in the business? Like, what is something that you can only bring to the table, or that you bring to the table that you're the best at, and that
Hmm.
is special?
Do you mean like us as a founding team,
I mean,
or
you
just like
specifically.
me Okay, okay. Just to know what kind of you mean. I'm like a brand designer, so I'm coming from the design part and doing that like for the last 12 or 13 years right now, and started like working with so many different kind of companies, from smaller ones, startups, to big international companies, like doing from logo design, social media, web design, all that kind of stuff. So besides just like the design part and the branding, I would say my big benefit is that I'm really experienced and know what worked in marketing and what not from the different kind of companies. So I usually talk to the founders a lot and to the marketing executives, what works, what not, how, because for me as a person myself, I love nice design, but it's always important that the design sells at the end. So I'm always focusing that to make the brand work and not just look good.
Yeah.
And I would say that is like a thing that I'm super good at, kind of, but also because since I'm really like actively in the NFT space since a year building, and were to a lot of conferences and in real life events. So my network is getting stronger and stronger, and I really kind of understand the space and connect to great people, and traveling a lot. My co-founders I think it's all guys, and I think all of them are dads and have kids at home and family. So I'm like the one who's always traveling and just like go out and spread the word and all. So I would say the mix between a design, like a branding that sells, my experience in the Web3 space, because I'm kind of deep in it, and also that I'm super bullish on growing companies. So that's like a mix which could work out what I bring to the table, and usually always very, very bullish and passionate and open-minded. And I just love working. So I'm always in a good mood, and
Good.
people usually
It seems
enjoy
like it.
working with me. Yeah.
In the for outside of the tokens that you guys hold that you've yet to
Mm-hmm.
sell, do you guys have any other cryptos that are on your balance sheet? Like, hey, we have some extra funds and we know we're only going to spend 40% of it. Let's take 10% of what's remaining and let's buy some Bitcoin, let's buy some OMI, let's buy some whatever. Do you guys do that?
We only do it privately, but not in a company, as we're having that in real life utility and a real brewery and all of that. We have to buy like cans and hops and all of that. We don't want to gamble. So we really focus on growing the business like the old way, let's say, right now. Let's say also, as long as we really need to focus on growing and don't want to gamble at this point. If the company is big enough, we can do that. Privately, I think we all have like our cryptocurrencies and NFTs and all of that, but not like in the treasury of Meta Brew Society.
What's your favorite crypto that you have personally?
Oh, I started with Bitcoin. Besides that, just like ETH, Solana, nothing. I had Ripple, so I'm not so much into altcoins. I'm super interested. I'm always looking at the charts, but I focused since 1.5 years, not a bit less than 1.5 years, on NFTs. Stopped. I tried to stop like minting and such at the end of last year, and to really try to focus on building besides looking always on the market and checking all the scores. Because as someone asked before, when do you guys sleep? When you're growing two businesses, you really have to focus. So I
Yeah.
try to less focus. I'm always interested in the market, but if I want to invest more in crypto and more in NFTs and in mints and such, I would have to cut from the Meta Brew or from my branding business time, and that's not the focus.
Yeah. No, I understand that. There's a lot of things that happen to go when they run, they can run
Yeah,
quickly. And I
yeah,
do think though we are coming into the next bull market. I think unless these trends reverse, that
yeah.
we be coming to the next bull market. I think Jerome Powell was talking about being in an inflationary cycle, so I'm really bullish on it.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
is the future for Metabrew in AR and VR? Like, do you think you guys would be able to be in the metaverse? Have you filed for your own, or would you just like kind of piggyback on someone else's?
Yeah, we actually plan the metaverse too. It's just not the first focus right now, but what we want
Yeah,
to do there is like building like our like the brewery we have, like just a picture of it in the metaverse where people can go in, explore like the brewery, getting into informations about the brews, can order it. So that's like on the menu too. That's what we
yeah,
plan. It's just not, I'd say it's not the focus at the moment, because there is not so much going on in the metaverse right now.
yeah.
So we can focus on time in that yet, or growing like the Web 2 part to actually sell the beer, which makes at the moment more sense. But yeah, it's definitely on the plan, on the roadmap.
Cool. All right. So the when you travel,
Yeah.
what is the thing that makes your travels most enjoyable? Is it the fact that you get to go to these fun places? Do you get to stay a few days in these fun places? Or is it the fact that, hey, not only am I making money by selling beer, but I'm making a lot of money by selling beer or
To
something in
be
between?
honest, yeah, right now, as we're not paying out ourselves, right now I'm not making any money off the beer. I just have a lot of beer at home. But traveling has always been like one of my biggest passions. since I was younger. So, and now I really enjoy to travel also work-wise. And I know it sounds always so cheesy, but get to know so many different kind of peoples, backgrounds, different. The great thing about Web3 is that even if you're going to a conference in the US, you meet people from China, from Japan, from South America, from London, from France, doesn't matter. And you get all the bunch of people together, which is super open-minded and super interested in stuff that I've learned so much about other people last year. But that sounds also so cheesy, but also about myself, because you always challenge yourself with new ideas. And actually, the first thing people ask usually in that space is, what are you doing in the space? And if you're going to any kind of other conference, like marketing conferences, like not Web3, but Web2, people ask you, what are you doing? They don't listen. They want to pitch themselves. That's what happens usually out there. And as soon, that's my experience, you go to Web3 conferences and such, people actually want to know what you're doing. I do the same. I ask them, and I'm really genuinely interested, because you learn so much about use cases, about the space, maybe collaborations, maybe, oh, I know someone I have to connect you to because it's such a perfect fit. And then you just share the numbers. And that's what really I enjoy the most about traveling for Meta Brew. Get a lot of new people into my circle, and also learn so much about business cases, Web3, how communities work, because everything else is you read stuff online and you can ask ChatGPT or whatever, watch YouTube. Everything is awesome, but really deep dive is if you are talking to people, because then you can ask the questions you really have and not just listening to a dialogue two other people have, for example.
Yeah, ChatGPT is something that I love, but it also really scares me because it.
Same. Yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
About ChatGPT or in general?
I guess in general. I mean, AI is one of my big ones, but in general, what about you?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm more like the bullish than the person who has a lot of fears. I think the biggest fear in general is always like losing freedom in a way. Doesn't matter if it's like I can't travel, financial freedom, of course, health, and also I think a lot of new technologies brings us a lot of freedom, but we also have to see that, or look at it the other way. Can it cost us freedom, or that you are able to get your own decisions, like or do your own decisions? So that was the first thing which came up into my mind when you said like my fear is like losing freedom in any way.
Yeah.
Because that's like what is one of the most important parts for me always.
I understand. We have a suggestion or an ask: bring Radler and cola beer to the US.
Radler is on my menu too, because it's so great. I love that in summer. Do you know Radler?
I don't think when I go to Germany every couple of years and I have everything. I don't know if I know Radler though.
It's like Radler is like a typical just like beer mixed with like lemonade, like with a soda, like with 7-Up, for example. 7-Up in a beer, because it's super easy going in summer when it's hot outside, and it's that's like the drink what a lot of people drink in summer when you want to do something easygoing. You can either buy it already mixed, or just like having a 7-Up and a beer and just mix it together.
I swear I'm not like being paid to like show this, but Not Your Father's root beer. I'll put in like a cup and ice cream, and I'll make like an alcoholic root beer float. I'll put some vodka in there. So good.
Oh. I had a root beer float before, but not like with alcohol. You said vodka too?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I need to try that.
So is that an American thing only?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would say so. At least not like the European parts I know. I know that from the US. So yeah.
What is your favorite thing to mix your Meta Brew beer with?
I would say really with the like 7 Up or Sprite in Germany. So like a
Okay.
Radler, even the normal way, or like just a Meta Brew, or like
Mhm.
going with like a Radler. That's great, especially to a barbecue outside.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, is there in the last few minutes here, as we
Mhm.
wind down, what's the anything that we haven't gone over that you think people should know?
Mm, oh, I think we covered most part of it. What is maybe one thing, if you're like holding 10 NFTs and more, you
Mhm.
can get your own co-branded label design. So for example, yeah,
Oh,
if you're, for example, drinking a lot of beer, having a lot of friends over, for example, you can get your own can design with your logo, with your PFP, doesn't matter. You can design it yourself, or I design it for you, doesn't matter. It's the same, it's not at any costs.
yeah,
That's pretty cool because usually you get that where you're doing as a project, a collaboration with us, or for a
yeah.
conference and ordering a big amount of beer, but also like everyone who's holding, like it's called the golden NFT pass or Genesis pass, or like at least 10 NFTs. Doesn't matter if you're a private person or not, you can get your own can design. I think that we haven't covered. Um, yeah, besides that, I think most parts with the collaborations and spreading the word and affiliate program and what is our business model, I think that is all covered, to be honest.
So, what's the floor on the secondary market for the NFTs for the tokens?
It's a bit more right now than like the mint. So the mint is still
Okay,
open, so it's a bit higher. So it's
that
stable the
makes
whole
sense.
time. Yeah.
Okay, 'Cause I would say like if some people were like, I don't know, say try and didn't like
Hmm.
it, I'd maybe try to sweep the
Yeah.
floor off
Yeah,
of that if it was
sure.
super discounted.
Yeah, lucky us
But
didn't happen. People really enjoy it. I think we had like 2 or 3 people selling so far, but one had like a lot of NFTs, and the first one which was sold was someone who got the NFT as a prize pre-mint from a raffle. So they
oh,
were not
cool,
like super deeply connected with Meta Brew, but besides that, lucky us, people are super happy. Community is staying strong. Floor price is stable. So yeah,
cool. So I'll keep you posted on the getting 10 because that'd be
yeah, that
cool
would
to
be
have a
awesome.
beer
Yeah,
design. Oh, that'd be I
yeah,
would keep a
yeah.
case just for yeah.
That would be great. And you can also like change the design with every quarter. So you don't have to do it just one time a year. So
No.
get your own different kind of can designs for
Oh,
home,
we could
for
have like a
events, for whatever.
series.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
example.
Is that so? Johnny Walker Blue does this. They have every year on like the Chinese New Year, they have a
Hmm.
bottle and it'll be like, you're the dog, you're the horse. Would you ever do
Ah,
something like
great.
that that coincides with like a holiday?
That's on the menu too, or on the plan, because you see, you can do so fucking much with that project. So I had on my like sheet with all the ideas. I have
Yeah.
to like doing different kind of something for Christmas, something for Bright Month, something for Cancer Month, whatever fun stuff, Chinese Year stuff. Definitely, definitely, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, we'll keep in touch and we'll do some other stuff in the future. Cola
Love
Weizen,
that.
I don't
Cola
think I.
Weizen. I mentioned that. I will
Oh,
write it
okay.
down. Yeah.
All right. So I'll talk to you
Awesome.
off camera for a minute. Everyone say
Okay.
bye to Dashi. Bye bye, Dashi. Thank you so much for coming
Bye
on.
bye, Dashi.
Again, link
Yeah.
to Chantalle's Twitter down below.